Hey guys, today I'm going to talk about top 10 factors that ruin the immune system. This is Gerald from Be Your Own Doctor, where we help you regain your health. To help the immune system work at its highest potential, two things are very important: to refrain from everything that destroys the immune system and to embrace everything that strengthens it. So what next? To identify those factors that destroy the immune system, right? Before we jump into the discussion, make sure to click the subscribe button, and if you haven't watched the previous video in which we discuss the first and the second line of defense, I suggest you watch it before you watch this video. You can find the link in the description box below. You may do anything in this world to protect you against COVID-19, but I want you to understand, between sickness and wellness, medical treatment and your recovery, COVID-19 and you stands the incredible immune system. It is our duty to take every effort to ensure this system is working at its fullest potential. Unless we take care of the immune system cannot take care of us. Infectious diseases from viruses like COVID-19 and autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus can be a direct consequence of faulty immunity. With the threat of highly lethal viral infection like COVID-19, an optimally functioning immune system may be our only salvation. There are so many bad habits that suppress the immune system. So, brings us to factor number 1 causing immune dysfunction: a high salt diet. A high salt diet is not only bad for one's blood pressure, but also for the immune system. There was a recent study conducted on human volunteers who consumed an additional 6 grams of salt per day, and the result? They all showed pronounced immune deficiencies. And you may ask me, how much salt is that? This amount corresponds to the salt content of 2 fast food meals. So, factor number 2, excess fat intake. Excess fat intake impairs the immune system as well. According to this study, even the so-called essential fat like omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids taken in excess suppress the killer cells, which play a very important role in our immune system. It also suppresses the production of some of the other important immune substances known as cytokines, tumor suppressing factors, and also interferon gamma production. If you're wondering what these strange names are, these immune substances are the ones to defend us from viruses, bacteria, parasites, and cancer cells. So those are the problems you can expect when you consume even the healthy fat in excess. So the next time you eat loads of unhealthy fat, be reminded of the slaughter your immune system goes through. Factor number 3, sugary food. When you eat excess amounts of sugar, a harmful molecule called the dicarbonyl is produced. Dicarbonyl is a byproduct of excess sugar, and it interferes with the infection controlling antimicrobial factors known as beta defensins. Defensins as in defense. A group of researchers discovered that dicarbonyls alter the structure of human beta defensins, hobbling their ability to fight inflammation and infection. So, eating sugar? Never again. Factor number 4, pre-existing medical conditions. A week ago, a study was conducted by a Rome-based institute that says, except for 0.8% of the total deaths in Italy, remaining 99.2% of the deaths are among people who had one or more pre-existing medical condition. Almost every single disease these patients had were lifestyle diseases, the study says. More than 70% had high blood pressure, about 30% had diabetes, and a third suffered from heart disease. These diseases wreak havoc on the immune system, which puts you into that 99.2% of the stats. On the other hand, These lifestyle diseases, to a larger extent, are very much reversible through lifestyle change. In the upcoming videos, we are going to discuss some of these diseases in detail. Factor number 5, long-term medication. Pharmaceutical drugs of all types and classes influence the immune system. Some drugs target immune cells specifically to treat autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis and lupus to produce immunosuppressive and anti-inflammatory effect. Many drugs that are not developed to be suppressing the immune system are also associated with mild to severe immune dysfunction. For example, antibiotics, anticonvulsants, anti-diabetic and anti-hypertensive drugs are all believed to cause poor immunity. The truth is, most medications are taken to manage one or other lifestyle disease, which can be controlled, managed, and even be reversed through a good lifestyle. Factor number 6, lack of exercise. Are you someone with an inactive, sedentary lifestyle? Then this is for you. Lack of exercise can have a negative effect on the functioning of the immune system, and it can influence a person's vulnerability to infection. Researchers have found a link between moderate regular exercise and reduced frequency of upper respiratory tract infections compared with an inactive state. A one-year study of over 500 adults found that participating in less than 1 hour of moderate exercise per day was associated with a 1/3 reduction in the risk of getting an upper respiratory tract infection compared with individuals that had an inactive lifestyle. Well, what about the ones who are obsessed about exercise? You got to listen to this. Overtraining. More exercise is not always good, as there's a 2 to 6-fold increase in the risk of developing infections of your upper respiratory tract, especially in marathon and ultra-marathon runners. This is due to increased levels of stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. This increase in the stress hormones suppress white blood cells, they weaken the immune resistance, and then these people are more susceptible to viral and bacterial infections. Basically, following 1 to 9 hours following vigorous exercise, a body's defenses decrease and the risk of upper respiratory tract infection is increased. So now the question is, how much is too much? One way to look at it is like this: vigorous exercise plus low energy plus extreme tiredness simply means you have overtrained. Factor number 7, lack of sunlight. I'm sure you all know what you get from sunlight. Vitamin D, right? In the previous video, we learned about the mucus production, which is the part of the first line of defense. Vitamin D plays a modulation role enhancing this first line of defense by stimulating the secretion of antimicrobial substances, which amplifies the mucosal defenses. Not just that, what the researchers further found is more impressive. You remember the T cells, which are part of the second line of defense? They respond to sunlight by speeding its pace to carry out its work. The World Health Organization said on their website, vitamin D supplementation has a profound protective effect on respiratory tract infection. They have also said around 1 billion people worldwide are deficient of this important vitamin, which may affect the immune system negatively. Well, could this be one of the reasons why COVID-19 infected cases are on the rise? Probably. Factor number 8, sleep deprivation. Does sleep deprivation increase the risk of getting sick? Does it affect your immune system? The simple answer is yes. People who are sleep deprived are more likely to get viral infections, common cold and flu. Sleep deprivation also has an effect on your recovery if you ever fall sick. What happens during sleep may help you understand how lack of sleep affects your immune dysfunction. Our immune system produces a substance called cytokines, which are protective against infection. Cytokines are released more during sleep. In other words, sleep deprivation decreases the production of cytokines. So, how much sleep do we need? The optimal amount of sleep for most adults is 7 to 8 hours every night. For teenagers, it is 9 to 10 hours of sleep. School-age children may need 10 or more hours of sleep. Factor number 9, smoking. Part of the first line of defense is the tiny hair-like projections called cilia that protect airways by sweeping away mucus and dust particles. It keeps the lungs clear. Smoking damages and eventually destroys the cilia. When cilia becomes less effective at keeping the lungs clear, smokers are at increased risk of contracting COVID-19 and other respiratory infections. A normal breathing involves oxygen from the incoming air entering the blood, which is then supplied to all the cells of the body. In the case of smoking, it isn't the oxygen, but carbon monoxide and hydrogen cyanide are two highly toxic chemical gas that's released into the blood when tobacco is burned. Hydrogen cyanide is a gas once used in chemical warfare. Apart from this, tar, formaldehyde, and benzene are three of the other 70 deadly chemicals released by burning tobacco that causes continued weakening of the first and the second line of defense, which in turn makes you more vulnerable to respiratory infections like COVID-19, even autoimmune diseases and heart disease. Factor number 10, stress. We all know stress causes a wide range of health issues, but did you know stress induces immune dysfunction? Ohio State University College of Medicine conducted a study on medical students. What they found was that the students' immunity went down every year under the simple stress of the 3-day exam period. When examined, these students had fewer natural killer cells which fight tumors and infections. The study also says they almost stopped producing immunity boosting gamma interferons. And the infection fighting T cells were very weak in test tube stimulation. What about you? Are you stressed? It's high time you learn to manage your stress. So friends, it's so mind-boggling to see people giving so much importance to face masks, hand sanitizers, and social distancing, yet least bothered about their poor habits and other habits, bad habits, as if these bad habits have nothing to do with their risk of developing COVID-19. Let me tell you this, if there's a time to change your bad habits, it is now. Hope you found today's video to be useful. Share with me what are some of the bad habits you think could be damaging the immune system in the comments below. I'll meet you soon with my next video in which I'll be discussing 8 important nutrients to boost immunity. Till next time, this is Gerald from Be Your Own Doctor.